We got big drama coming out of the sneaker world after the general manager of Nike North America, Herbert, has to resign after 25 years in the game because her shithead 19-year-old son used her name to open up a credit card to fund a massive resale business on the secondary market. Let's get into it. Okay, so before I get into the specifics of this story, you got to understand the big picture of sneaker culture, okay? Sneakers are like legal drugs. It's like a brick of heroin that I tie to my foot. For idiots like myself who collect them, it's a full-blown addiction, okay? And in recent years, it's gotten completely out of control. You got Kanye with Adidas and Yeezys. You got Nike with the Jordan retros. And as streetwear has gone more and more mainstream, the whole industry has just exploded. You combine that with the internet bots. Bots are technology that allows you to buy dozens of pairs of sneakers all at once. And you couple that with the advent of these apps like StockX and GOAT that allow you to buy and sell sneakers at the push of a finger. So next thing you know, it's become a full-blown business for certain people, okay? You're one of two people in the sneaker game. You're either in it because you love the actual sneakers, okay? And you remember when you were a little kid and you couldn't get that pair and you couldn't afford it or your mom wouldn't buy it for you. And now all of a sudden you're a little bit older and you got your own money and you think to yourself, you know what? I want to go back and I want to scratch that itch. I want to get that pair that I could never have. I want to hop in the time machine. I want to go back in time and I want to relive the nostalgia. I want to get a pair of patent leather Jordans, okay? I want the playoff 12s. I want the penny 2s with the funny commercial with Chris Rock and Penny Hardaway and the little. I want that. Or you're a cocksucker, blood-sucking reseller who doesn't give a shit about the sneaker game and all you want to do is get your hands on a pair and flip it and make some money. Enter West Coast Joe. West Coast Joe is this 19-year-old dickhead whose mother is Herbert. She is the GM of Nike North America. We're talking about a fucking continent, folks, okay? Joe uses his mom's name to open up a credit card to buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of sneakers with the employee discount code with access to super rare sneakers that you and I can't get. Look at him with the picture of the off-white 5s. This is a pair you could only buy through the Nike app, one pair per customer, and West Coast Joe has hundreds of pairs. Look at this picture with sneaker boxes stacked to the sky. You and me, we can't get a single pair of sneakers. We're taking L's left and right on the app. And West Coast Joe now has all of the inventory. And he goes on the secondary market and he charges you 2 times, 3 times, 5 times the price, $1,000 for a pair of $180 sneakers. And how is that possible? All because mommy is the GM of Nike. So, as the story goes, West Coast Joe rose to prominence in the sneaker community. He had access to hundreds of pairs of rare sneakers every single time one dropped, as well as information about supply and demand and where you're going to be able to buy sneakers, all sorts of info that only an insider would have. So Bloomberg decides to do a profile on this kid. He had a business that was thriving, over $200,000 in revenue. He has access that nobody seems to be able to get. He has information that only an insider would have. So Bloomberg's like, what the fuck's up? How you doing this, kid? This fucking moron gives up his mom's name, saying like, yeah, my mom works for Nike. She's an executive, Herbert. Immediately realizes he stepped in it, texts back saying, please don't use my mom's name. Please don't put that in the article. The cat was out of the bag. The horse was out of the barn. The whole operation fucked because West Coast Joe couldn't keep his dumb, stupid mouth shut. And now Herbert, who spent the last 25 years rising the ranks of Nike to become the general manager of a fucking continent, has to step down because her dumbass son and his little pet project got too big and he couldn't shut his fucking mouth. Could you imagine that? You raise this kid, you wipe his ass when he's a baby, you put band-aids on his boo-boo, you buy him his sneakers when he's a teenager. I guarantee that West Coast Joe calls his mother by her first name. I guarantee he calls her a bitch right to her face. I'm sure West Coast Joe is like, Ann, where are my sneakers, Ann, you bitch? Ann, where are my off-white 5s, bitch? You told me you were gonna have 100 pairs. Where are they? And that little fuck brings down this woman with decades of experience. She resigned in like 25 seconds. Why? Because Nike is leading a crusade against the resellers. They're trying to get the product directly to the consumer at the retail prices, and they're trying to fight back against the secondary market. And then their GM right under her fucking nose has an entire resale operation going on. You just can't have it. And especially if there's truth to him using her discount and using her access, you just can't have it. And the fact that she resigned as quickly as she did and didn't put up any fight means there's probably a lot worse going on. I'm sure she's just like, you know what, let me just quit, because if you keep digging and you find out what else my dumbass son did, it's gonna get a lot worse. So you know what, I feel bad for Herbert, but this one This one's for me and you and anyone else who's ever taken an L on the sneakers app. All of us. This is for anybody who's ever logged on right at 10 a.m. and in 1 second seen their favorite pair of shoes out of stock. All of us. This is for every idiot who's gone on the secondary market from the old days of eBay to the new days of StockX and paid $1,000 for a $200 shoe. Read, only the fucking idiots. But this one's for us. Fuck you, West Coast Joe, and fuck any of the resellers that don't have this addiction and aren't goofy, awkward white people who just want to have the sneakers from their childhood.